Good evening, folks. Welcome back to Celtic Fans TV. It's time for your Twitter reactions to Celtic 2, Ross County 0 at Celtic Park tonight. A much needed win in the league. We'll start tonight with Chris Q winning clean sheet. Just need to kick on and go on a confidence building run now. I think the big positives from tonight are number one, the clean sheet, because we've had so little of them this season. Looked a little bit better defensively tonight. I think there's one really shaky moment with Julian in the first half where he Dillard on the ball and failed to clear it, and Ross Stewart ends up having the header which goes wide. But on a grand scheme of things, I think we were a lot better defensively. Going forward, we had a lot of chances in the game. Good to see Griffiths start. Good to see him get on the score sheet, although he should have had a hat-trick with the chances that he missed. I think you can see that's why he's not happy when he's celebrating the header that he scored, because about 30 seconds before he'd missed a sitter. Turnbull, good goal. Frimpong, a lot better. To see him getting to the byline, picking his head up, looking for a pass. He needs to do that so much more often. You could hear the manager screaming for the sidelines time and time again to get to the byline, for guys to get out of his way, leave him that space, and to go on the outside and not to come on the inside. I think he has to do that a lot more often, because that's when he's most effective. And you see it with the big teams in Europe. Man City a couple of seasons ago, when they were absolutely brilliant, they scored so many goals for getting to the byline, for cutbacks. Because if you can get to the byline and pick out a teammate in the box, 9 times out of 10 you'll have a great chance of scoring a goal. So they were the positives for tonight, no doubt about that. Docchino, talk about the pitch, what's happened to it. Millions spent, hardly any football on it, and it's a riot. A lot he's talking about the pitch tonight. The pitch is a mess. I actually tweeted during the game saying it's symbolic of how the team's playing. It's no good. I don't know what's happened to it. We went through 6 weeks or something back a couple of months ago where we didn't have any home games, and came back and the pitches just get worse and worse. I don't know what's happened to it. I don't know. I'm not an expert on turf or how to treat grass or anything, but definitely it looks like something's went wrong considering how little football's been played on it. And it's not helping the team, there's no doubt about that. It's not helping the team. We haven't been playing scintillating football this season and knocking the ball about at breakneck speeds, but there's no doubt that pitch isn't conducive to that. Hoops Lad 67, we won a game that we would expect to win, a workmanlike performance, and we won, but better than the loss in the League Cup, but a reality check for anyone who chose to ignore the implosion on Sunday and thought we'd turned a corner. We still need a managerial change to take us forward. Look, I said in the full-time reaction there that for me, watching the team, I'm still looking for something. I'm still looking for it. I don't know what you call it. You can call it it. You can call it an X factor. It's intangible. I'm just looking for something that jolts me, something that wakes me up and goes, there's Celtic there. I don't think we're seeing that. I don't think tonight was that. Tonight was a decent win, a clean sheet against a team who have just changed their manager, who are rooted to the bottom of the league table. I'm just like, I go back to Rodgers last season where we were really, really struggling. We lost away at Kilmarnock. Athens put us out the Champions League. There was the whole Boyata stuff off the park, along with the John McGinn stuff as well. And we went to St Johnstone one day and we were 4-0 up at half time and it just clicked. I'm just waiting for it to click. I don't think we're seeing that. We certainly haven't seen it this season. We certainly didn't see that tonight. And that's what I mean when I'm saying, is this performance, is this sort of form good enough to claw this deficit back, go on a run and blow everything out of the water the way we did last season? And I don't think that right now it is. That's why I'm not doing somersaults about the performance tonight. There was a lot of positives. It was good to win. But again, it's kind of like Kilmarnock as well. It's very similar to that game, actually. Very, very similar. Although we're better tonight in terms of creating chances, there's no doubt about that. But I'm still waiting for that thing. That intangible thing isn't there. And when I see it, I'll tell you, I promise you. Stacey Devlin, 3 points and a clean sheet. Can't ask for much more than that. This now will hopefully be the start of gaining a bit of momentum going into the new year at Ibrox. Need to be more clinical in the final third, and decision making needs to be better also. Griff and Edward need to start. Good to see Griffiths and Edward together again tonight. There's no doubt about that. They weren't obviously the way we seen them at the back end of last season. They haven't played a lot of football together this season. We know they can be brilliant. That's what we saw in the back end of last season. And sometimes Griffiths just being there, giving us that different dynamic, can bring the best out in Edward, because Edward likes to come deep and get on the ball, face the goal, dribble, link up, whereas Griffiths is much more a natural, if you like, old-fashioned number 9 poacher, knows where the goals are, can get in behind as well, runs the channels. Edouard's different, and I think sometimes they can bring the best out in each other, and I hope that we see that. I hope that if they're going to start together at Hamilton on Boxing Day or against Dundee United before we go to Ibrox, that we can see a little bit more of that. There's maybe some wee glimpses of it tonight, but you could tell that they've not played together very much recently, but it is positive to see them back there linking up. Murray, we weren't great, but it wasn't terrible either. A good win in the grand scheme of things. Sorrell was impressive again tonight, always looking to get the ball forward. I know there's still another 2 games, but he has to start in the derby at Ibrox. I just said to Chris at the end there, that's a debate for another day, because we just had it with the cup final where everyone was crying out for Sorrell to start and Scott Brown came back in and replaced him. Scott Brown is out injured from a knock he picked up at the weekend in the cup final, so I don't know where that's at. I don't know if he's going to be out for a couple of weeks, which would technically rule him out at Ibrox, or if it was just a knock and he'll be back. Again, I would put myself in the position where I think Neil Lennon is going to pick Scott Brown. If they're both fit going to Ibrox, Neil Lennon will probably pick Scott Brown, let's face it. Should he pick Sorrell? I think so, based on the performances we've seen. I think tonight the big positives for me with Sorrell were when he got in the ball, particularly in the second half, he was playing forward passes, accurate forward passes through the middle of the pitch, into Turnbull, into Christie, into Vogic when he came on, and Cham as well. And that's what we need. We've not seen enough of that this season. Too often we go out wide and we just sort of dither on it and we waste possession, but it looked purposeful forward passes. That's what we need for that whoever's playing in that deep lying midfield position, and I think Sorrell gave us that tonight, no doubt about that. Eddie, 3 points and a clean sheet, but it's against a team who are bottom of the league. We need to improve vastly. The defence is still a problem, and Eddie is far from the player that we need. Does anyone know why the pitch is so bad when it was apparently sorted in the summer? Again, a few people tonight in the comments again slating Edouard. Let's be honest, they're slating Edouard because we've seen him being so good. We saw it last season, absolutely superb. We know the levels he can get to, and right now he's not at them. But I think tonight it was good to see Griffiths and him together again, and I think if we see that in the next couple of games, they can maybe build on something and work back to where they were at the back end of last season. We'll finish tonight with Gaz 88. It's mental that with half the season gone, there's still massive improvements needed in this team. I think that's the realistic take. Like, we've gone half a season. We talked about it slightly in the live full-time reaction video, that we're still kind of experimenting with the starting 11. The formation, that was a new setup. I know it was brought on by maybe Brown being out tonight and other injuries, Duffy and the likes, but that's the first time this season we've played 4-4-2 diamond. I don't think in the middle of December that's going to be the answer, that because we played that formation tonight and we beat Ross County doesn't mean that formation's the answer going forward. I certainly don't think we should go to Ibrox and play in that formation because it'll be far too narrow, and to deal with Rangers we're going to have to nullify them out wide, so we can't play in a diamond, we absolutely cannot. So I don't think it's a long-term solution, certainly not in games like that. Again, I don't want to be negative about tonight, because tonight is a good win. It's a comfortable win, and we could have had much more goals than we ended up having. Could have been 4 or 5-0 on another night, I accept that. But I'm looking at the season as a whole, what we've seen so far, and I don't see anything that makes me think the real Celtic is in there. Again, we might be building towards it, and these wins might help. These wins might gradually help build momentum up to a point where we can get back to that level. But I'm waiting for my St Johnstone 2018, where we just turn up one day and everything clicks. We're playing football at 100 miles an hour, creating chance after chance, putting the chances away. I'm just waiting for that moment where I just sit up and go, there you go, we're back. I don't think I've saw that this season. But as I say, see when I see it, you'll know it, I'll know it, and I'll come and tell you that I've seen it. That's it for tonight. Like the video, comment with your own thoughts below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already.